Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about, obviously, what I think actually, not even what I think. This is how I'm submitting my ballot as full transparency, right? I have award show votes. And in a week is the deadline to submit like the stuff for the wind down. So this is for what I believe the top 10 shows of 2025 are. And for how this does the qualifications, the show had to premiere in January of 2025. And obviously, anything is eligible till New Year's Eve, 2025. And I just want to kind of do first the ones on the outside looking in, because I would have put South Park on this list. But the thing is, like, I'm looking through the voting thing because for whatever reason, South Park decided to make its 10 episodes count as two seasons. So the first five are season 27, and the second five, the one that started with the 6-7, is counts as season 28. And this is similar to a situation that happened with Atlanta a couple years ago where Atlanta season 3 and 4 came out the same year. And they counted as two different things in the award that category. And there was a huge divide on which was the better season of Atlanta. I was a person who firmly believed Atlanta season 3 was far superior to season 4. That was the season that more woke people did not like. It was the one with the cancel club and the reparations episode mocking white people and all that. That's the one I liked, but critics didn't like. And then season 4 was the more traditional Atlanta. But they split it that way because the Emmy calendar, so people understand, the Emmys that air in September 2026, the calendar is June of 2025 till May 30th of 2026. So that's why they split it up, because that season of Atlanta was March and September, so they were eligible for both years of the Emmys. So this is full. A show premiered January of 2025, and all its episodes, or most of its episodes, were out by New Year's, about by New Year's Eve. So we're gonna start. So that's why South Park is not on my list. Also not on my list is The Rehearsal season 2. I would have put it, and look, I love the Wake Me Up Inside and the whole Nathan, um, the whole flying the plane situation with the guest and how they were all actors and the entire situation. And look, I love Nathan Fielder. I thought it was, like, great. The King of the Hill revival is also on the outside looking in. I thought it was great, especially the Andrew Tate episode, and how Hank was, like, out of, a new gentrified Texas was something, he didn't understand, and seeing Hank and the gang back was just fantastic in a way. The Studio. The Studio is not on my 10. I'm sorry. I like The Studio, and look, I understand season 2 will all the other things with The Studio. I think The Studio is fun, and it is a very inside baseball show to understand all the references within it, but in reality, I think Studio would have been 11, like, legitimately, like, Studio would be 11, Rehearsal's 12, South Park, if the episodes were combined, would have been 13 or 10, depending on how you do it, and King of the Hill is 14. So, I'm gonna start off, uh, my 10 is Alien Earth. Alien Earth, a spinoff of all of our Alien shows, is probably the most refreshing take on the Alien franchise. Alien Earth takes place about 2 years before the first Aliens movie, and it stars, Sydney Chandler as Marcy/Wendy, as a half, her consciousness was transferred into a body, and I believe it was episode 6 or 7, that is probably the best Alien movie we've had, which just we see how all the other creatures, because 'cause we're so used to only seeing the xenomorphs, but we saw all these other alien creatures get introduced, the eyeball monster, which is probably the most the sentient thing, the thing that was just ejaculating little tadpoles, the the fly trap monster, all of it. That is probably the best alien movie, and I think the whole being able to communicate with the xenomorphs, seeing them in daylight, seeing everything on Earth, all the new characters, I Alien Earth is at my 10. My number 9, Paradise. And so Paradise season 2 premieres in 3 weeks in January, and Paradise is about the nukes go off all across, the world, similar to Fallout, and our boy Xavier and President Cal, played by, what is it? Fuck. the dude who plays, Cyclops and the Jury Duty, James Marsden, right? Yes. Um, he is the president in this situation, and his dad made him the president, and it's a whole inside, conspiracy theory because this female Elon Musk character, she saw that a volcano was going to erupt sometime in the 2020s, and she's like, "We need to build a bunker so that we can have the best of humanity survive." And she's like, creates the secret city in Denver, and only illegals are building this town because if they die, no one will care in this whole situation. And I still say episode 7 of Paradise, which everyone should watch, is the best episode of TV to come out in 2025. It's up there with, episode 3 of Last of Us, the one with Bill and Frank, fall in love. It's one of those episodes that truly are one of the best episodes of television of all time, with the Osmosis episode and the episode where Logan dies in Succession. We get this whole conspiracy that we learned just watch episode 7 of Paradise. It is the best episode of television all year, and this is why Paradise is on the list. I'm glad Paradise is returning for season 2 in about 3 weeks, and a lot of the shows that are on this list, their, upcoming seasons are supposedly coming out within by the way, the first 3, weeks of 2026. Next is Severance season 2. Severance, the show that took 3 years to come back, and we're probably not seeing it again till, uh, 2027. Severance season 2, we got reintegration between Mark and Helly. We saw that Helly was pretending to be, Heliar, and then she fucks Mark S, and then Heliar fucks Mark S, and Mark talks to his innie. And we see that Lumen and that Jenna has 100 personalities in her head. Episode 7 is the one that was is the Gemma origin story episode. Is truly, once again, another wonderful episode. We also have the retreat episode where, you know, Marvin, no, is it Marvin? God, what's crazy? It's so many characters that it's hard to remember everything. And I'm sorry. I think Irving is the one who was able to tell that was Helena, not Heliar, and almost kills her, and then he gets fired from Lumen, and then the whole Christopher Walken subplot where I don't think he was really ever severed, and he makes him and the dog leave because Lumen's trying to kill them, and a bunch of other situations, and then, we also saw the season finale where Mark S frees Gemma, but Mark S stays inside with Heliar, and now there's full chaos happening in the Severance floor. Andor season 2, obviously, is number where are we? 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7 on this list. Arguably the best Star Wars project we've had post the 7 through 9 trilogy. And everything to do what is it? Episodes 6 through 8 are arguably, because the whole way it's shot is that each 3 are considered a movie. The Insurrection episode, as everyone likes to say, is probably one of the most beautiful episodes of television we've seen of a truth to power and why the empire rises, and this whole how everything was planned the entire time and how basically incompetent the good guys are, and the chase of rescuing. Just watch just watch those 3 episodes of Andor. They are fucking phenomenal. Is the series finale good? No, because they have to tie up this whole thing. Yes, we see that Lando secretly had a kid, and I guess that kid is going to be a factor in the fucking God, what the fuck is it? The Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie that's coming out in 2, 3 years. That, what the hell? What is it? I forgot who's dir that Sean Levy's directing, right? Next, Fallout Season 2. So, for reference, I have the first 6 I have the 6 of is it 8 or 9 episodes of Fallout Season 2. Fallout Season 2, Episode 1 is the only one out for the general public. And I'm gonna say Fallout Season 2 is better than Fallout Season 1. It's a crazy because the show looks like one of the most expensive shows on television. Ella Purnell stars, and I really do hope It's gonna be tricky because of the way the Emmys work. I don't know if she'll be one of the 5 who gets nominated and how they do the category. I love Ella Purnell, she's my number 1 white girl, best eyebrows on television, everything about it. Fallout, House, I don't 'cause it's hard to talk about this because I don't wanna spoil the show. It truly has gone up another level, and it's amazing that we're gonna get the show. They're trying to do the show fast, and not in a bad way, but from what they said, season 3 begins filming, it's in the summer, which means it won't come out till March or April 2027, keeping this 14-month window, which is good. They know this is their number 1 show on the network, and it elevated the story, and we finally know which ending is correct for the New Vegas. Lucy's dynamic with the ghoul and Maximus and Dogmeat and the father is probably one of the best villains we've ever seen. Fallout Season 2, uh, is we're 10, 9, 8, 7 is the 6th best show of the year, and I'm glad Ella Purnell is getting her, stardom. Next, number 5, Landman Season 2. Similar to Fallout, I believe only 5 of the 8 are out for the general public. I was given the first 6, so we are with that. This season is better than last season. They understand the dynamic between all the characters, the dinner, the oil. Yes, Cooper sucks. I like Ariana, so I don't really have a beef with Ariana. I know a lot of people hate Ariana. It is what it is on that situation, but I think Landman deserves to get award nomination, and I don't like the politics behind why they don't nominate Landman for a lot of shit, because Landman is one of the best shows of the year, okay? This is number 5 on my list. I think it was number 3 on my list last year. I'm glad Landman got renewed. It seems we're gonna get Landman every November for the next 3 years, which is great. Um, Andy Garcia is a fun, not anti-hero villain. Obviously, Sam Elliott being only 10 years older in real life than Billy Bob Thornton, but Billy Bob Thornton looks like he's in his 50s, but he's 70, and this whole everything to do with Ainsley and all the hot white women that are in the show, plus Ariana, the oil, the crazy situations that are coming. The show is Succession for oil, and I don't know why people just don't like it because it's pro-Republican or whatever. It's nonsense. Landman is the 5th best episode of the year. I mean, 5th best show of the year. Number 4, and this is where it is interesting because 4 and 3 on my list were 1 and 2 for most of the year, okay? So number 4 is Adolescence. Adolescence is probably the most important show we had in 2025. And if you have a boy under 18, I think you need to watch the 4 episodes of Adolescence. And yes, the 4-hour one takes of Adolescence is truly some James Cameron level directing we've never seen before. The acting, the fact that it feels so real because we can see it. And this is beyond American politics. It is the anger and societal implications of why men are so angry in a way that no one's really addressing, and how the dynamics are how they're responding when a guy talks to them versus, a real, traditional guy versus, a feminine guy, and how he treats the woman like shit, and why, he killed that girl in this entire situation, and the tape. Adolescence was my number 2 show for most of the year. It is my number 4 now, and that's only because the other 2 shows were recently came out, and they clearly are above the rest. So watch Adolescence. Number 3, which was my number 1 for most of the year, The Pitt. Now, similar to Paradise, The Pitt season 2 premieres in 3 weeks, another 15 episodes. The Pitt is Grey's Anatomy, the early seasons, 1 through 5 when it was good, meets 24. It's done an entire shift, the 15 hours. Our boy Ravi, Dr. Ravi, and all his misfits run an ER shift, and we see an ER shift in real time. And The Pit made me so invested. This felt like TV from the early aughts, it felt like 24 because I really was invested with this, and it is truly the best hospital show, and it really The Pit coming out showed how shitty Grey's Anatomy has become, how bad House was, how bad all the hospital shows were. Because we go through all these crazy cases we see in a shift. We see the sadness of a girl who drowned saving her sister, um, an anti-vaxxer who didn't want to give a life-saving treatment to her child because she believed in holistic medicine. The f the real protocols of what happens to a hospital when a mass shooting happens, and what they have to do, and what the real-time decisions are in that hour or 2 period before all the bodies come rushing to the hospital. How a hospital that is dealing with budget cuts has to do and ration care. And listen, I'm glad Noah Wyle got his Emmy. I'm voting for him, obviously, in the SAG Awards for for everything. I'm glad he finally gets the recognition he deserves because The Pit was one of the it is the you know, 1 and 2 it was the best show of the year for 10 months, okay? And I'm almost certain this show will be on the list again next year because it seems to be like, looking at the trailer, they found their swagger, and it doesn't seem there's gonna be a sophomore slump, and The Pit basically has made just it makes you remember how, like, good Grey's Anatomy was 20 years ago, and it's great, all the issues, the drug issues, the childbirth situation, I care only doctor I would wanna treat me. Number 2, Pluribus. Pluribus, for those who don't know what Pluribus is a virus, genetic code RNA sequence is sent through a satellite, military doctors reverse engineer it, and everyone on Earth is now a part of a hive mind except for 12 people, and we follow Carol, one of the immune, and we see what loneliness really is and why everything trying to make you happy makes you miserable, and how you change. Now look, I think I would have fun in the Pluribus world because we see there's the other survivors. There's a guy who's like, he's just fucking all his celebrity crushes he ever really wanted, and he's living out his, like, movie fantasies, and you know what? I think I would have fun for about 3 months, this entire situation. The show is basically just 3 people that you follow through, and they're carrying the entire show, and it's so complicated, and, the woman who plays Carol is probably going to clean up at the Emmys and the SAG Awards because Pluribus is that good. It's the most watched show in Apple TV history. It is the best show on Apple TV. It is my number 2 of 2025. Now, number 1, full disclosure, I have seen the 3 episodes that drop on Christmas, okay? So I've seen the 3 that are coming out for Stranger Things. I will not spoil it. No one has seen the finale yet outside the people who work on Stranger Things, okay? So I am judging this based on the 7 of 8 of Stranger Things. Stranger Things season 5. Yes, the kids all look 30. Yes, the teenagers look younger than the kids, but Stranger Things season 5 is the best show of 2025. They delivered on the hype, the twist, the effects. I fucking love, I really think this season shows how fucking great Nancy is, and maybe the show should have been more focused on Nancy the entire time. Steve is fantastic. The kids, because the kids are no longer kids, they can actually carry the show more, from Mike Wheeler to Dustin. It is always weird, though, it feels like Millie Bobby Brown is in her own show the entire time, and everyone else is in a separate show. Sadie Sink, she has more to do in the 3 episodes that drop on Christmas, and it makes a lot of sense why she is the villain in the new Spider-Man movie. She is in terms of who I think post Stranger Things who's going to be the biggest star of all of them, I think it will be, obviously it will be, Joe Keery, Sadie Sink, and Natalia Dyer. Obviously, we all fucking know about Winona Ryder. David Harbour's an Avenger now and all these other situation. But of the main 3, it's clearly Sadie Sink, Natalia Driver, and Joe Keery will have the biggest careers post Stranger Things. And I know Millie Bobby Brown is a superstar in all of this, and sure, she's in her own, like, trajectory of everything she wants to do. But Stranger Things season 5 is the best show of 2025, and everything that happens in the show, it's so rewatchable in such a way I didn't think it would do, especially the 3 that are coming out on Christmas. Um, I can't wait to see the finale, though I probably won't actually be I don't know when they're giving us the finale, like, because it's not on the For Your Consideration site yet. I assume it will probably be the 30th they will give it to everybody. Well, to the on the For Your Consideration side, or maybe it'll be earlier in the day on New Year's Eve. I know we're getting it before New Year's Eve, no spoilers and all that, but yeah, there we go.